Good afternoon, everybody. SpenVentures here, live at Union Station in Tampa Bay. We are here today. We're going to learn a little bit about trains. There's a museum inside. We are at the Amtrak terminal, where people get on and off at the Amtrak, where the trains run. They run at night in the evening, so the trains will be coming in later tonight at around 5 to 5:30. But right now we're going to take a look inside, learn a little bit about the history of trains, how they work, and the early days of the railroad. I've been a fan of trains for my whole life, for 32 years, ever since my uncle from Little Rock, Arkansas worked on the railroad. And a funny story before we head inside is actually he invited myself, and my parents, my mom and dad, out to the Arkansas Little Rock Railroad, the rail yard where he worked at, and let me climb aboard a big diesel locomotive, an engine, the front of the train. And so, long story short, I ended up meeting one of the conductors who drove the train, and he allowed me to stop the train. I was actually very scared because I was only like 6 years old, and so I didn't know what was going on or happening. But by the end, I was smiling and I was happy. And even before that, I had fallen in love with trains. Like I said, my whole life. So, but we're going to take a look around. But first, we're going to take a look at this sign right here behind me, where it's Tampa Union Station. A little bit of history of how this was built and when it was built. By 1902, Seaboard Airline, the SAL, was formed in the Atlantic Coastline. ACL had taken over the rail system of Henry B. Plant. Tampa Union Station was built in 1912. It was designed by architect G.F. Leather in Italian Renaissance style and served both railroads. The companies contributed $250,000 to build the station, managed by the Tampa Union Station Company. During the Depression, the Great Depression, American passenger railroad earnings fell by half. Higher revenues during World War II were offset by the cost of overworking their stock to meet war needs. To increase profits, they reinvested in sleeker, more modern rolling stock, resulting in the Streamliner era. Notable trains that served the Tampa Union Station then include the ACL, West Coast Champion, South Wind, the Sutherland and the South Silver Meteor, Silver Star, and Sunland. In 1971, Amtrak began operating and the nation passenger rail service, and today runs trains out of Tampa Union Station. And then in 1991, the nonprofit Tampa Union Station Preservation and Redevelopment Incorporated purchased the 1.97 acre terminal and baggage building, renovating it to 1998. Ownership was transferred to the city of Tampa, where we're at now, in 1999. The station is on the National Register of Historical Places. So, history, especially on the National Register of Historic Places in the United States, history and trains, those are my top 3 favorite things to film. I love filming history. Anything about trains, I'm all in. And of course, Disney, anything Disney, theme parks. But today, we're going to be riding the rails, not on a train, but very close to it. We're riding the rails back in time for an historic SpenVenture. Follow me. So we've made it inside the terminal, Union Station. This is 150th anniversary of the Golden Spike, Saturday, May 11th, 10 to 4, at Union Station right here. There's Amtrak information, food, refreshment, family fun, free parking, on-site, and pay at Street City Garage. Come by Amtrak Silver Star from Jacksonville, plus the land, Winter Park, Orlando, Kissimmee. Arrive in Tampa, depart at 5:30. Oh, so you can actually ride the train. There's no admission charge, it's free. Historic and hands-on interactive exhibits. I might be coming to this because it's on Saturday, May 11th. I need to mark that down on my calendar. That was, 2019. Never mind. We could go. 1 o'clock. The Silver Star of Amtrak. And coming in and departing to Miami. It's on time and gate and track number 2. Then at 1:20, you gotta, that's this bus. And then you don't have another train until 5:20. So we gotta watch out. So we got a couple trains coming in today. One at 1 o'clock and one at 5:20. And then go ahead and check out some of the artifacts here. Not much here. This looks like it was, of course, this is it's opened in May 15th, 1912. This is what we talked about on the outside on the plaque. You can see it just says here. When the Tampa Union Station opened on May 15, 1912. The architect was J.F. Leather of Wilmington, North Carolina, built by the Atlantic Coastline, Seaboard Airline, and Tampa Northern Railway. It was an Italian Renaissance architect. Other events of 1912. On February 14th, which was Valentine's Day, Arizona was admitted as the 48th state. I don't know why that's on there, but okay. April 10th, Tiger Stadium in Fenway Park opened. April 15th, the Titanic sinks. August 5th, Teddy Roosevelt was nominated by Blue Moose Park. Okay, so that was like notable, other events of 1912. So, and then active from 1912 to 1984 was Tampa Union Station. Served its builders for many years. Seaboard Coastline of 1967 and Amtrak from 1971. Famous trains included the Champion, the Sunland, Silver Meteor, and Silver Star. 1984, it was closed due to decay, the Tampa Union Station. And then 1990, it reopened. Tampa Union Station Preservation and Redevelopment Incorporated formed to restore Tampa Union Station. 1996-1998, restoration undertaken using private donations and public grants after completion of the TUSPR dissolved in the early 2000s. Then in 1998, it finally reopened as the donations helped raise funds to help preserve the Tampa's Union Station. 1998, CSX donated to the station in the city of Tampa. 2003-2011, Amtrak ridership increased from 43,000 to 141,000 per year with no charge in service. Number 3 in state after Orlando and Sanford. 2008, Friends of Tampa Union Station formed board comprised of concerned Bay Area's residents. City of Tampa, the owner, Amtrak, primary tenant, raised endowment fund and coordinates National Train Day events to help preserve Tampa's Union Station. Alright, so as we look at this clock tower, you can see the carvings where it has the Tampa Union Station logo, and also some of the trains that come through here, like the Champion, Silver Palm is on this side. The name of the trains that come through Tampa Union Station. And the date it was built and it was built and constructed as well. And then you got the Seaboard Railroad. Oh, there's an HB plant. I've been to that museum, and I'll put a link in the description below and my video of when I did go to the Henry B. Plant Museum. there is actually, because Henry B. Plant, another fact about Henry B. Plant was that he was an avid railroader, and he loved trains, and so he actually designed, if I remember, and purchased some of the railroad, as well as boats and ships. He was an avid railroader and boater out in Tampa Bay, and he had actually gone out and purchased some railroad trains and ships, and to help import goods from overseas. And with that, he had gone out, especially in support of his wife and kids and whatnot, but still. Anyway, that's how Henry B. Plant became an avid railroader, is when he went out and purchased some of these rail cars. He restored them as well. It needed repairs and everything else. So, but I'll put a link in the description below and the video up so y'all can watch it when I visited the Henry B. Plant Museum. It is actually on University of Tampa campus, which is not far from here. I don't know how far of a walk it is, but since I walked here from Ybor, I was down by UT, University of Tampa, and that's where the Henry B. Plant Museum is. And but it's a cool museum. Definitely got to go check it out, especially if you're a big fan of trains and or ships, boats. So, but we're gonna kind of press on. I do want to kind of stick around so I can see the train coming in here in a little while. It should be coming, the Silver Star, which is actually one of the other trains that was recorded on the not only this right here, the monument, but also inside, and talking about the history of the train. So we're gonna go ahead and press on a little bit, and then we'll come back around and see the Silver Star. Okay, so I am actually sitting in a giant chair with the Tampa Bay Lightning here in Thunder Alley. Thunder Alley is like a block party for all Lightning games, and especially the home games. Right, actually right here is the arena, Amalie Arena, home of the Tampa Bay Lightning hockey. And Tampa Bay Lightning hockey actually was founded the year I was born, in 1992. So made it kind of interesting to see. And then 30 years later, or 29 years later, moved to Florida here in the Tampa Bay area and become a fan of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And so, no, I'm not wearing my Lightning shirt right now, but because they don't play till 7 o'clock tonight. They actually here at home tonight against the Philadelphia Flyers. So I don't know if I may stay around until later, but or if I may go do something else and then come back. I don't know. Today is really just like a do something, go wherever kind of day. No specific plans, but right now just here at Thunder Alley, just relaxing and enjoying the day. And so it does feel like springtime here in Florida, and so it's hot. Spring and summer is coming up on us very quickly. Before we know it, we won't want to be outside because it'll be so hot. You don't want to leave your house. So I'm going to take a chance now while it's still kind of upper 70s into the mid 80s. That's okay. That's good weather. The wind's been blowing, so that's helped. But we're going to kind of take a look around inside the Tampa Bay Lightning sports shop just to cool off and see if there are any new merchandise inside that is for purchase. So let's go ahead and head on. Of course, you see where it's like a shop, everything lightning that you can think of, from pucks, the Hall of Fame, Dave Andrechuk, class of 2024 in the Hall of Fame, the NHL Hall of Fame. So she got bumper stickers, not bumper stickers, but magnets, car magnets, stickers, everything you can think of. I like this one. But I don't like the magnets, I like the stickers, they last longer. Here's the label pins. You can get pins here. Of course, you got the Tampa Thunderbug wearing a Santa hat. And you got Stamkos, Pazzi, Cooch, Rock. You know, Braden Point. I like this. 1992 Bolts, where they first became a hockey team. Oh, they got a Mickey Mouse Disney Tampa Bay Lightning lanyard. Of course, you have Kucherov and Vazzy banners, all kinds of banners. You got trash bins. It's just everything lightning you can think of, they have in this store. And nice shirts too. Oh, I like this. It's got the lightning emblem on the side there on the sleeve. Some of these nice shirts, I like that painted. It's like a bluish gray color. Alright, so great look in the store. A lot of cool merch. But nothing really to pique my interest. Really stood out. So we're going to press on. Go ahead right down here to Sparkman's Wharf. I do want to get me a bottle of water, something to drink. Not hungry right now. I had a big breakfast this morning, so still going on that. And then we'll just hang out and go by the river walk around there for a little bit, and just see what other sights to see here in downtown Tampa Bay. They have an Everglades here at Sparkman's Wharf. Everglades, of course, is in Disney Springs. One here at Sparkman's Wharf. So they got some cookies and cream toppers. They have a cookies and cream cold brew. Oh boy. House-made cookies and a peanut butter. Cookies and cream cold brew. Tempting. And cookies and cream cold brew. Absolutely. Two of my favorite things. I love cold brew, coffee, and cookies and cream. Hershey cookies and cream bars. My favorite candy bar. Mix it in with coffee. You got yourself a winner. Alright, so got my cookies and cream cold brew right here. Cold brew coffee. The energy will be skyrocketing as we have a cruise ship right here in the background. It's going to be good. Let's try this cookies and cream out. Oh yeah, that's delicious. It tastes just like a cookies and cream bar, even though it does actually come with the Hershey's chocolate syrup. I can taste the chocolate syrup. The vanilla has a hint of flavor. Also and the white, I can taste the white chocolate at the end. It's very delicious. So, what we're going to do, hang out here for a little bit, chill out. Chill out for a little bit right here. And relax. My feet hurt. And drink my cookies and cream cold brew coffee. Okay, so, series of sort of a turn of events. We're inside the Victory ship here at Port of Tampa. It was a World War II cargo ship of the Victory class, launched on May 24th, 1945. It was built in only 55 days by the California Shipbuilding Company. American Victory is 455 feet long, could once carry 10,750 deadweight tons of cargo. American Victory served near the end of World War II in the Pacific, helped bring relief supplies to Europe after World War II, and served both Korean and Vietnam War. Visited 5 continents and 32 countries. The ship was brought to Tampa in 1999 and underwent a massive restoration rehabilitation project. Today, she serves the community as a museum and center for training and education. So I'm just going to show you a brief summary. This is the USS Saucy ship. One of a group of corvettes transferred to the United States Navy under the reverse Lend-Lease. Saucy sailed from Londonderry, Northern Ireland, May 16, 1942. Then on June 29, 1942, arrived at Key West and commenced escort duty in the Caribbean. Initially conveying ships between Trinidad and Barbados in September, she shifted to the Trinidad-Gusman convoy route, and in January of 1943 to the Trinidad-Recife Brazilian route. Wow, so this ship has been everywhere in the ocean. This is the Sea Hunt, which was a Victoria 41 class U-boat. Sea Hunt, or the Seal, was the most successful of the German midget submarines to deploy during World War II. Midget subs were popular during World War II and were attempted by nearly all major powers engaged in conflict. Midget submarines could be used in clandestine operations where larger submarines dare not tread. The small size of these submarines made them virtually undetectable by the naked eye. Small submarines right here oftentimes allowed these vessels to sneak through minefields and avoid enemy depth charges. The interior was largely given over to functionally rather than habitatively. The 2-man crew were crammed into a tiny space not much larger than a sofa for up to 5 days for a week. There was no bathrooms, air conditioning, radio, or other modern-day comforts we take for granted. So these were like basically a hot box. They were found in the Gulf of Mexico as well. So you have all the branches of military flags, including the Space Force right here. This is the Space Force flag that they fly, like I was saying, they fly. That flies in Orlando above the Kennedy Space Center. Don't touch it. Okay, there. So, and then here, on this video, they're talking about how they moved train parts onto a cargo ship to transport over to Germany for World War II. And this right here behind me, we're in the supply room, cargo room. This is where all the food supplies, all kinds of stuff, all goods that were they used on this ship during World War II and in the future wars of the Korean War and the Vietnam War. So they had all these cargo down here. This is where they all kept the cargo down here. Cargo ship. And then, of course, across the way, we'll go over there in a second, that's where all the supply chain was processed and produced. We are entering the U.S. Merchant Marine Museum. This was honoring the heroic deeds of World War II. So this is kind of where the this is where
the ship went through a great deal of restoration when it came back into town to the port of Tampa. It was brought in.
I saw that.
James River Reserve Fleet.
Still serves in community today, training firefighters, law enforcement officers, active and reserve military, working dogs, and more.
Visit the American Victory's weapon.
We were just on level 1. We're up to level 2. Where we can climb aboard and look out on the waters, and we got see all these life jackets. These are all life jackets from American Victory ships. These are life jackets from just in case something were to happen. Thankfully it didn't, but they had all these life jackets for these passengers. They have child life jackets and adult life jackets. So just in case of an emergency, they had them ready to go. So we make our way out onto the upper deck. Well, not the upper deck, but the second deck. You can see out in the area we're at the Tampa Bay. We're on Tampa Bay right now. We're at the bay. You can see out across the water. See tour boats, cruise ships, supply chain. As you can see, this is anchored down pretty well with steel cables. As you can see, this is really big. Especially when we come up here onto the top deck, like here. See the flag waving in the breeze here. And we'll go up there in a second, but really wanted to come out here to see. I think this is the front of the ship. We are on the front. We're on the bow of the ship. Here we go. It's very windy up here. Due to the fact that we are high up. But see here, this was a military cannon. A military cannon that was sure, and let me see, show the parts here. What they do is you have this crank, load the barrel in here. This is where the powder is. This is where the powder went, the gunpowder. Gunpowder went here. You would do is you would crank this and then rotate. This would spin. It doesn't spin anymore, but this would also crank. And then this is eye level. You want to aim. This is how you would aim. Right in here. See? There's the barrel right there. You can see the small light in the distance. Right there. That's where you would load the ammo. This is where you'd load the ammo. The ammo is here. It turns to aim it, and then there'll be a lever somewhere to fire off to fire the gun. Like I said, up here, we are at the bow of the ship. Bow of the ship of the SS Victory here in Tampa. And then we're about to go to the back where there's a lot more stuff to see and a lot more history of the ship to encounter. So let's go ahead and head on there now. A lot to go through in the back of the ship. We just only made it to the front of the ship. Let's head there. Alright, so now we're heading towards the stern of the ship, which is the back of the ship. So here's, this is inside the cabinet. This is at the bathroom. Can you go in here? Yes, you can. This is like a little bed. I'm going in. Look at this. Please do not touch. Typewriter. This is what they used back in World War II to send letters to their families back at home while they're on the ship, because they wouldn't see them for several months, maybe years, before they got back to their families. So they would send letters out to their loved ones to, one, make sure they're still alive and that they're safe. So this is the captain's room. This is the captain's stateroom and office. So here, this is where the captain would sit as they are resting, when they rested on the sea, when they were at rest. And so this was his office. Of course, you got he had a old receipt typewriter thing, and then a telegraph machine as well, like that. And so this is captain's quarters. They didn't have like what we have today with telephones. Like, they didn't have iPhones. They didn't have mobile phones at all. They would telegraph by using this machine right here. I'm pointing at here. They would have this, and then they had the telegraph in Morse code, and of course the kitchen, dining room. This was kind of like a little dining room set where they would eat their breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Sometimes they would have to skip a meal because of either a storm would happen or something else was going on. They were under fire with military guns and ammo. So, but this is where the captain and some other people that maybe he invited on deck or in his office would sit down and have a meal. Of course, this was his bedroom, actually. This was his bedroom on the ship. An old American flag here that's folded up nicely and in a highly respectful way. This was the captain himself. There's the captain. We'll call him Captain Earl. Captain Earl and his wife. His dresser where he has clothes, of course his famous captain's uniform that's propelling the ship. Of course, his life jacket and his briefcase, where he kept a small item of clothing. He would change every now and then. They would take showers, not very often, which was gross, but you also have his home phone. The phone where the wheelhouse, press for 1. Of course, it was a crank, so you'd see the numbers on here. See, each number would tell where you want to go. So if you want the wheelhouse, you go to 1. Call 1. Captain's room, 2. Chef's room, 3. And the general room, 4. 6. There's no 5. Or 5 got erased. The steering flap. The aft steering station. Forecastle in the engine room would be number 9. So there's no number 10. Of course, there's a light switch. What you would do, the captain would pick up the thing after turning the dial to what number he wanted on the list. Then he'd crank that, turn that area. Then he would have hold the phone up to make that call. Or heading up even more into the ship. We're going higher. Those are steep stairs. We're actually heading into the operating room. This is where the captain steers the ship. This is the engine room. Not the engine room, but the There's the rudder. You have stop. You have full steam ahead, which means forward. You go slow backwards, or full backwards, which is astern, where you have a standby. And then you have finished with engine. Is that what that says? I can't remember. Of course, there are a lot of lights out here, especially at night, especially when they're at night in the evening time, so you can see where you're going. Of course, like I said, engine room. Have it here. Now, let's go ahead and going up to level 3, third deck. I think this is the highest you can go. Now you might have the captain's room. Not only captain's room, but you also have this room. This does not steer, unfortunately. But you also have a co-pilot. Co-pilot would be up here on the top deck. He'd be at the top deck right here where I'm standing, and also steering the rudders. Not only the main engine, but rudders of the ship, to make sure, and also to be on the lookout for enemy lines and enemy ships, and not to run into things as well. Looking out for like sharp objects, anything, small boats, to avoid on this ship. That's why it's so high up, so the co-pilot can look out right here. You can look out onto the sea, in the sea, where you're going, where they're going, and also message down to the pilot who's on the ship, controlling the ship. The captain, let him know, hey, we're something degrees north, whatever. And just like those people. All of those people, I mean, they're having a good time. It's nice out here. Everybody's in their bathing suits. Nice day here in Tampa. Good for a boat trip around the bay. Alright, so now we're about to enter the Naval Armed Guard quarters. Right here. Oh, there we are. World War II, a gun similar to the 5-inch gun located on the deck aboard the American Victory and other merchant ships. This gun was intended for both anti-aircraft and anti-submarine purposes. It can fire as high as 37,300 feet and at a 39-degree angle. The gun has a maximum range of 18,230 yards. One 3-inch gun. Wow. One 3-inch gun, similar to 3 feet. So 5 feet and 3 feet. One 3-foot gun, similar to the 2 guns on board, were located on the American Victory, other merchant ships during World War II. This gun can fire as high as 21,000 feet, maximum range of 12,000 yards. It took a 6-man crew to operate the one 3-foot gun, and an effective crew could fire off 12 to 16 rounds a minute. Wow. The crew insisted of the gun captain pointer, trainer, first loader, second loader, hot shell man. The motto of the Naval Armed Guard was, "We aim to deliver." That is crazy. How to think a gun, not only a 5-foot gun, but also a 3-foot gun, could fire off that far. Not only that far, but it took 6 men to operate a 3-foot gun. That's That's, wow. That's impressive. So, back out. It's definitely, something to look at. So you can see the gunman sit here. Also fire off on this area. Backside, so. I'm gonna sit right here. Find not the most comfortable spot, but this is kind of what it looks like to be a gunman on a warship. You do load the ammo here, turn it off through there. This would spike. And then back there, behind me, there. Behind me would be the artillery. And where they load in, fire off into the barrel of the gun, and it would shoot off. It's so loud. It could definitely damage your hearing or cause hearing loss. So we're at the galley. I haven't been in that room yet. Go down there. So this is the kitchen area, the cafeteria. This is where all the sailors and the captain has his own room. This is cooking and baking on board. Official manual. How to use this book. Where's the table of content? Good old. So this is the map of where all navigations of the where the ship was and where it would go. Wow. July 45 of 46, that's the year. Cruise 1, Cruise 2 to LA, 1953. This is the map of, this is Asia, China, yes. Down here in Thailand, of course Japan, and down here, right there. India, of course over here you have, of course you have the US, Florida, Tampa, there we go, 22nd through the 23rd, Norfolk, San Francisco, you have that, it's just port of call. So they would get calls through here. This ship. Okay. Holy crap. This is insane. So we're in the engine room where the ship comes to life. Once was. The head is the restroom. There's a bathroom on board. Made it to the hospital on the ship. This is where they take care of sick crew members, injuries. Oh, historical notes. A pantry man fell and was left in a semi-conscious condition. SS American Victory radioed the U.S. Department of Health requesting that they be met on ship's arrival 2 days later in San Francisco, March 20th, 1968. If the injury was serious enough, the ship might reroute its course like it did in one voyage where crew members sustained a serious eye injury. SS American Victory stopped in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, in order for him to receive medical attention on September 19th of 1969. The radio log notes that 2 dentists, 2 doctors boarded the ship in a Panama Canal voyage to help 2 sick crew members June 6, 1969. Interesting. So this is the ship's hospital, right? A name that I refuse to even say. It's worse than. But that man, he was the worst man alive. Right here. This is really low chair. General Everett. Of course, we knew that Adolf Hitler, he killed himself in a bunker in Germany because the American ships and soldiers were really after him because of what happened with the Holocaust, and so many Jews were in concentration camps. Really upset us, and of course we were allies to Israel. We're still allies to Israel and the Jews. So what ended up happening was that a little bit of history here is that the American soldiers were after Hitler because of how he mistreated the Jews, and so bad, very, very bad. It was worse. It's the worst recorded slavery in history. And so Hitler knew that his time was. I mean, if he was going to be caught, they were going to kill him on the spot. So he just ended up killing himself in a bunker down somewhere in a cave. I forget where it was, or what exactly, but I know he just killed himself. I think he overdosed on something. I don't know, but he ended up dying. So these list of people. Look at all that amount. Infinity. What? Hugs. Infinity. Jennifer. Michael. Hey, now we're talking. Drug. Jesus. Ha, I like that. Jesus. Drug. Josiah. Chocolate. Caffeine. Tornado. Takeoff? What? Jesus. This was the drug, which is good with Jesus. Yes. Mary Jane. Oh no. Ugh. Coffee. That's okay. Drug is coffee. Jesus. Sienna. I like this. Drug. None. Free. Ew. Love. George. Cookie. Ew. The Holy Spirit. Okay, we'll take that on every kind. Right. What? What you talking about? I mean, look at this. Alright. Now the bottom of the ship. Bend down, level 2.
1963. So watch this. It's still. Yeah, this one's perfectly good shape.
I thought those were just props.
Yeah,
No,
I
they're
know.
not props. So believe it or not, this one is still good. This one, it's broken open and it's been exposed to rust. So the water in here has been exposed to rust. This one is still good.
Oh, wow.
Am I gonna try either one of them?
No.
We got these.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And then
That's
this is what you got for emergency rations. Oh, yeah. This is what you had for emergency rations. This is in each lifeboat.
Okay.
Now, our lifeboats, like the lifeboats that's in the number 2 cargo hold, and I may or may not be with you. You can go in there, you can look at it. It's in excellent condition. It hasn't touched water since 1969.
Oh, wow.
Now, here's the catch. 40 men can be in that lifeboat. But there's only food and water enough to keep 12 people alive for 3 days.
Wow.
So this is your emergency rations.
For 40 people.
Well,
For 12.
you'd have more of these cans, but there's
Yeah.
only
But
enough
each
for,
enough
But
for
it's
12.
only enough to
for 12 people,
really
to keep 12 people
12
alive
alive.
for 3 days.
Yeah,
And
that's...
only 3.
All right, so that was the U.S. the SS Victory ship. Toured so much World War II American history inside this ship, not realizing how big it was. But this was really cool, especially those that are big, either history, especially social studies like teachers or history buffs, American history, world history. They have it here, in both contexts, American history and world history. Because as you went through the war, World War II, and then the Korean and Vietnam Wars, this ship was active during those three wars, and not only just very active, but it is on the National Register of Historic Places. So thank you all for joining me here on this ship, and we have dropped anchor. Sorry it's so loud, we have a crane in the background going past me here. But since we have dropped anchor on this ship, and every now and then this ship does go into port for maintenance every now and then. But it is open publicly to the public Monday through Saturday, from 10 to 5. I will put a link in the description below for this attraction. Like I said, especially for history buffs, definitely come and check this place out. It's very cool, very historic ship, and just a lot to know about what went on during World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War. It really does take you back in time, especially with all the antique and the old stuff that they used. Very fascinating. Anyways, thank you all for joining me here on this SpenVenture aboard downtown Tampa and the USS Victory ship here in Port of Tampa. Like I said, tomorrow will be a new SpenVenture right after church, heading over to the Strawberry Festival for a day of fun, an afternoon of fun with strawberries, trying new snacks. Not gonna get on any rides. I think I'm gonna mostly go through the shops and everything, but we'll get into that tomorrow. But for right now, don't forget to subscribe to SpenVentures. Drop a like on this video. History or not, fun day today here in downtown Tampa. Ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe to SpenVentures. Leave comments down below if you have been to a National Historic Landmark. So, until then, we will see you all on the next SpenVenture.